Hey, how are you guys doing? Yeah, doing good. Doing good. All right. So, my name is Léon Foucault. In 1851, I started my work to prove that the Earth rotates. This is something that we had theories about, but no concrete evidence or proof up until now. My plan was to use a large scale pendulum suspended from the dome of the Pantheon in Paris. Um, and using this, I was able to show a room full of skeptics and fellow scientists that the Earth truly rotates beneath their own feet. And this was truly the first throughout history hardcore evidence that this is the case. So the goal was to provide simple yet direct evidence and proof that Earth's rotation is active and daily and consistent. Um, and so, looking past just the theory that we'd had for this last several years, we were attempting to prove it concrete. Um, Astronomers already had indirect evidence and obviously theory that Earth orbited the sun, but we had yet to prove that it spins on its own unique axis. And we had definitely yet to prove something that an everyday citizen could view with their own eyes. So the first public demonstration was February of 1851 at the Paris Observatory. A few weeks after that, we set it up in the Pantheon using a steel wire that was roughly 67 meters long and a 28 kilogram sphere composed mostly of brass and lead composite. Um, and we actually got direct authorization by Napoleon Bonaparte, um, who was the president at the time. We built this all together with a handful of engineers and a team. So, opposite the English Channel, London had actually just recently opened the Great Exhibition at the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park. So, that ran from May to October of the same year, 1851. Um, it was the first major international exposition. It brought visitors from all over the globe, or the explored world, to see industrial and technological achievements from across the world. Um, at the same time, back in my home of Paris, my demonstration in the Pantheon would um, actually just get cut short by the end of the year due to Napoleon's coup and the way he was defeated in December of 1851. So it wasn't just me on my team. We have an engineer, Gustave Fromet was his name. He worked with me to physically build the apparatus, put a lot of effort into the design, and the president, Napoleon Bonaparte, personally authorized the use of this large building that was owned by the government at the time. Um, the following year, my work on the rotation led to the invent of the gyroscope. Um, and there were other teams alongside that. But yeah, that was mostly who was involved in this project. So I was the physicist behind the whole demonstration idea. Um, I worked out the theory, the math, the numbers, um, and mostly I went through the discovery of why a swinging pendulum in the plane of its oscillation appears to rotate relative to the ground and in turn the center of the earth. Um, I built, calibrated the apparatus with the assistance of an engineer, um, And I also was there in person to explain the physics to the crowds, explain why this is proof that the Earth rotates on its unique individual axis. I use a device of wood and sand beneath the pendulum as a stylus, as a method to just draw out the path, show its uniform rotation, in turn creating something similar to a clock that displays the time consumed throughout the day. And so this bob on the pendulum would trace the line in the sand with each pass, and it would show hour by hour rotation of the Earth. So the demonstration became a pivotal moment as far as the scientific community. Making complex scientific theories or data just available to the general public in the form of an easily accessible demonstration. It was one of the first of its kind. Truly solidified my reputation as one of the leading physicists of the scientific era. And also because this was such a simple and easily accessible demonstration, my name and work was also spread across large populations. And it spread to Europe and America. And they eventually ended up creating and displaying their own demonstrations of a similar type. Yeah, so I did. Just before my demonstration, I sent my theory and my concept of what I was about to do to a group of scientists who had theories and have just been in this field for a long time. I invited them to come see the Earth demonstrate its own physics, its own turning, its own uniform motion. And obviously there was some backlash. There was some theories that it wasn't going to work. And they came to view my demonstration, and eventually they were impressed. They were fascinated with something theoretically so simple displaying a concept that we had yet to physically prove. And so there was no room left for doubt when we were able to do something so large scale, easily accessible, and simple to display these concepts. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love any chance that I get to talk about my work. So thank you guys.